Welcome to Voodoo Whiskey Gaming, and this is my late review of Shadow Warrior 3. I played it on the Xbox Series X. It's also available on the Xbox One, PS5, PS4, and PC. So we will start with the story. You once again play as Lo Wang, but this time everything went to shit. There's a giant dragon that's just fucking the world into oblivion, and you have to stop it. And the thing I really love about Shadow Warrior is the character of Lo Wang, because he's just so ridiculous and over the top and such kind of a joke character, but he's so fun. And that's going to bleed into the audio because the voiceover work in this game is great. I mean that because it just fits so perfectly with the over the top aesthetic of the game, and the voice actor for Lo Wang, just without him, this game probably wouldn't work the same way. I mean, the entire series really wouldn't work. As for the music, I think the music is really good. It works very well with every situation. I don't think there was really a time where I felt like the music was out of place. And the sound effects work perfectly with the game. They're very over the top. They work with the vibe of the game. They have this goofy 80s action movie vibe to them. I do have one complaint, and that is, at least in the first cutscene, the audio and video was horribly out of sync, like just ridiculously so. But after that first cutscene, everything seemed to straighten out. Now, for the gameplay mechanics and whatnot, this is a first-person shooter. And it's one of those balls-to-the-walls, fast-paced action shooters. You are not going to sit still. You are not going to be ducking behind cover. You need to keep moving. You need to keep killing enemies. That's how you're going to get health. That's how you're going to get all your different abilities powered up. It's how you'll get ammo. It's just what you got to do. It's very reminiscent of something like Doom in that sense, because it's got that old school keep moving vibe. You have an awesome array of guns, and you can get these items throughout the world, these orbs that will help you level those up, as well as ones that will help you level up your own abilities. Abilities like your Chi Blast, which you can push enemies off of cliffs or into spikes, or if you just need some space. Or one that will allow you to get ammo and health when you kill enemies with your katana. You can level up your guns so that they can, ricocheting saw blades, and your shotgun no longer needs to reload and fires automatically, or full auto I should say. And because it's popular and going into like every FPS anymore, there's a grappling hook, which they even comment on and make a joke about. But it definitely fits with that faster paced action in this game. Now let's get on to the controls, and I found them very responsive. I didn't have any real issues. I did, however, have to go in and tweak the sensitivity settings, because when they start, they're just way too low for a game this frenetic. So I did have to tweak that immediately, because I found out in my first fight that, they were just too, not unresponsive, but they were just too slow. Otherwise, I really didn't have any complaints with the controls. Graphically, this is a big step up from Shadow Warrior 2, but it's not like it's really a next-gen game. It's not even really a next-gen game. It is an Xbox One, PS4 game. And like I said, it looks better than the previous, but it's not like mind-shattering. There is far more detail, and the visual style is really awesome and does stick with the vibe. And of course, they have the rabbits running around. I have to point that out because that's just kind of a staple of these games. But I do love the basic visual style because it's way over the top, and it fits with that over the top vibe of just everything in this game. I also really like the creature design. The enemies are all very unique looking. Some of them are just palette swaps, but you do have different enemies and they do look different. And one of the cool things is they all have their own attack against you, and I think that's cool that they bothered to do that. How they all attack you very much fits their design, and I think the fact that they put that time and effort in works very well. I will say the world does feel very destroyed, and a lot of the parkour areas, I guess you would call them, do feel like they were built to just be parkour areas. It's not exactly the key element of this game, so it is fairly forgettable, but I'm going to get into my two big complaints with this game. The first one is kind of minor compared to the second, but there's this area where you're doing the parkour stuff and there's these elevators you have to trigger. And it's not even you have to be super careful, it's just random. Like if you land in the wrong spot on the elevator, you will die instantly. There's a certain wall that you need to wall run on, but there's a section you're not supposed to touch. And if you touch it, you'll die immediately, even though there's no clear and present danger, and that is frustrating. It's needlessly frustrating. But the big issue that really does ruin this game, and that's not an exaggeration, there's a certain mission where if you die, you may be respawned at a very specific checkpoint. The problem being that checkpoint is back from where you were, none of the enemies spawn in for you to progress, and even if you do find a way to progress, which I did, you can only progress to a certain point. You're supposed to get to a raft, and once you get to that raft, it won't move forward like it's supposed to. Now, this happened to me once. It was incredibly frustrating, and unfortunately the only fix is to restart the game. I tried every other fix. I tried leaving to the main menu. I tried restarting at a checkpoint. I tried uninstalling and reinstalling the game. None of these fixed it. I had to restart the entire game. Now, the only not downside, I guess, would be that if you use the same save slot, you get to keep all of your upgrades. So that wasn't so bad, and I was able to skip through the cutscenes, but then it happened to me during my second playthrough. So if you're wondering, does this mean I didn't beat the game? You're fucking right, I didn't beat this game. I shouldn't have to restart a game 3 fucking times to try and beat it. That's unfucking acceptable. It really does ruin the experience. So to wrap this up, until there is a patch for that issue, I can't recommend this game as much as I want to, because when it was working, when it wasn't fucking me over, I had a really good time with it. I was really enjoying the experience. So yeah, it's a skip. Until there's a patch out to fix that bullshit, I can't recommend this. Once there is, yeah, I would actually recommend this. Okay, so in the comments down below, why don't you tell me, has there ever been a glitch that has just completely ruined an entire game for you? And as always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. And if you like what I'm doing in general, share and subscribe. Have a good one. And that's immediately going to bleed into the audio because the voiceover is great. It works so perfectly in this over-the-top... Fuck.